Hãy like, đăng ký và chia sẻ nhé bạn. Trung tâm Ngoại ngữ Ngọc Vân chúc bạn một ngày vui vẻ.
Towards the beach, what do you notice? What do you notice? No, what do you notice about the air? What do you notice? As you're walking towards the water, as you're walking towards the beach, what are you noticing? What is it?
Can you say again?
What are you noticing? It's windy. Is anyone noticing how windy it is? You can be at the school and you feel nothing. You go towards the beach and what do you feel? Windy, right? Windy. I mean, I saw someone's bike get blown over today because it's windy. Okay? What way to reduce greenhouse gases and pollution? What's a way that what form of energy can reduce that? Right? What do we use? Yes, but I talked about the wind. What uses the wind? What are those called? Windmills, wind turbines. Wind turbines. Wind turbines can generate so much electricity that you don't have to burn coal. Right? Coal produces pollution, pollutes the air, pollutes the water, because coal also has in the ground because you have to dig for coal. So you ruin the environment, right? And you have to use water, so you poison the water. I don't know if you've ever seen a mine or seen pictures of what mining has done to the land somewhere, but it looks awful. But the wind, if you can harness the wind, and here in Vietnam, it's very, very hot, so you got solar. You guys are primed. If you have the will, you guys could do so much incredible stuff with this with your country because you've got the sun. It's a very, very hot country. The sun goes all the time, so you could build whatever you want. You could build greenhouses run by wind and solar. So you could grow whatever you wanted. You wouldn't have to import anything. You could grow whatever you wanted because you have the resources to do it. And if you built greenhouses, if you build greenhouses on land that cannot be used because it's desert or because it's already toxic, you build over it, right? You build a greenhouse over it, you don't use that soil, you have to ship in soil, but still, you can use the land, right? It's a win-win. I see some wind turbines as you go towards, is it Kanawha? Like the wind, has anyone taken their bike down Kanawha? Yeah, like, you're like this because of the wind. I mean, that's a lot of energy. And there's a company there, an energy company there. Anyone notice that big factory? Anyone notice that big factory there? Do you know what they're doing there? Yes. What are they doing there? Yeah, it's big, beautiful, and it's one of those factories that pays very, very good money too, right? So you can get into this. Environmental science and doing this kind of stuff is big, high-paying jobs. The guys who build the wind turbines, I mean, we're talking Canadian money, make $250,000 a year, which in Vietnamese money, 10 billion a year. Okay? Good money, right? And this is it. If you guys can do that, so that's one. Wind turbine stops air pollution. It stops toxic fumes and pollution. And I don't know if anyone's ever seen Beijing. Once we went to Beijing, well, we've been to Beijing a few times, but 10 years ago when we went to Beijing, people would put blankets over their cars at night. And in the morning, there'd be black flakes all over the cars. Like black pieces of pollution from all the factories. So people are actually breathing this, and it's on all the cars, and it's all everywhere. It was everywhere. So now what they did is they moved all the factories out of Beijing and put them into the countryside. We keep pollution in the countryside. But that's what I'm just saying, that wind power is clean, solar power is clean. Excuse me, sorry about that. So that's great. What is this country doing? What is your government doing to reduce pollution? Do you know if anything your country is doing?
There were some companies to make an electricity from wind and sun.
Excellent. Good. Good. Do you have, we have it in our thing, part of our high school program where I live, you cannot pass high school without 40 hours of community service. Do you know what that is? That means 40 hours. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. 40 hours of community service means you have to volunteer for 40 hours in your entire high school career. If you don't, you could be getting 99% in all your classes, but if you don't have that 40 hours, you're not passing. Okay, it's very important. And what the people are doing, the kids are doing, is they organize things like, we're going to all go down to the river and we're cleaning it, right? Or we're all going to the beach and we're cleaning it. Now, we don't have the pollution problem you do. We have things like cigarette butts or bottles and things like that. But even I find here, I go to the beach and I clean. I bring the garbage bag and I clean. That's what I do at the beach. I don't swim because I don't like to swim in pollution, right? So that's what we do at our thing. And I'm wondering, does your high school do anything, or is that part of your curriculum where you give back to your community and do something like that for your high school or for your community?
Yes.
No? Well, what do you think of that idea?
Especially my high school, don't like they support students in club. Club talk about environment and like like some once or twice a month they go to a beach to take a rabbit because my school near the beach, and then the student organize to that can like the student can give their own paper to take a trees to plant.
Excellent. See, that's great. That's terrific.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
So and another project is that the student can actually they so we keep the actually from home and bring to the club, and then we take some newspaper to use like a truck.
Excellent. See, that's right. Yeah, you're recycling batteries. That's terrific because there's toxic chemicals in batteries, and you don't want them to leak in the landfill because it poisons the ground. Yeah, we do that too. Another thing, like I think that's wonderful that you do that. And the problem is also like where I live at our house in our home, there are no single-use plastic bags have been banned. There's no plastic straws. If you go to the store without your own bags, I have like 50 cloth bags. If you go to the store with no bags, you have to buy them, and they cost you 5 cents. So not much, maybe 2,000 every time. But if you go grocery shop without, and they don't like it. And some stores won't even give you a plastic bag. So if you don't have a bag, you're carrying it like this, in your pockets, in your purse, whatever. So that's what they're doing, because they found when they did this, over 1 million tons of garbage didn't go into a landfill. That's how much they saved going into a landfill. And and like we recycle, and I find it very interesting here. We recycle cans, plastic bottles, glass bottles, cardboard, just like you, okay, and food waste. The food waste, bones, shells, parts of the vegetables that you've peeled off, they go in a special recycling bin, and then they get picked up, and they're all, and it becomes soil. It's called compost. You heard of that compost? It's natural, and it's very healthy for the plants. And we have it at our place, and then you compost it, and then you go, and you can get it, and it's for free. You just go, every year, they just put a big pile there, and you go with your bucket, and you shovel it, and you take it home, and you put it in your garden. And then and a lot of people who have houses, you can buy your own compost, and you have your own thing, and you put it in, and then you just put on your own garbage. But when you do it at home, you don't put meat in it, because meat will attract animals. So you don't want an animal coming into your backyard. Like where we used to live, it was in the country, and we had wild animals. So we had wolves and coyotes and bears. So we lost a lot of things because there was meat, or they smelled food, right? But I never stopped. I still did it, even though the bears took everything. Took our goldfish. We had a pond, and the bears ate our goldfish. Nice big court. Ate that, yeah. And then they just the bear. We had a big, beautiful metal bird feeder, ripped open like paper. Yeah. They're big. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. But anyway, but this is it. So all this kind of stuff is great, and I think it's wonderful. So I mean, but you're the generation that's going to have to do it, because the old guys aren't. The old guys aren't. They're set in their ways. You're not going to be able to change someone who's 80 years old from opening up something and throwing it on the ground. They're not going to change. It's you guys are going to change, and the young kids coming up, they're the ones who are going to change. You have to. Another thing that I find that I want to talk about is the water here. Sea. You guys fish, and you eat everything. And I respect that. You do. You eat everything out of the sea. I respect that. But if you go to Thailand, they have decided to keep everything in the sea. Why? Because they make so much more money bringing tourists to look in the water, to see the turtles, to see the fish, to know what it's like to you can jump in the water, like go in the water, and 5 feet you see a giant sea turtle. And that makes them a lot of money, where maybe they have 1 million tourists come to Vietnam, they have 20 million go to Thailand because of the water. Because the water's clean, and you can see lots of fish. And when I jump in the water and I scuba dive, I see sharks, I see everything. I've seen everything there, right? Except a whale. Still waiting for that. But so they've realized that that's where their money is. Costa Rica is another country like that. If they don't allow any plastic in their country, they have very strict rules on it's eco-tourism is their #1 industry. So you go into the jungle, you swim in the water, everything is eco-tourism. So you go and you see the wild animals, and you have and that's where they're making their money, and that's how they've decided that their country's going to go, right? Something to think about. Did you have a question? Does anyone have a question? I've done all the talking. Nobody does anything about the pollution to Vietnam.
I think the pollution will become more worse, and people will affect the disease from it. Yeah.
Okay. Who has problems? Who has family members with breathing problems, who cough a lot, or have lung problems, COPD, who are always coughing? Does anyone have family, older family, who does that? Grandmothers, family, lung cancer, lung disease, anything like that? Asthma? Anyone have asthma? No? Okay, when you don't, okay, you guys wear a lot of masks. Just think, we don't wear masks in our country, not anymore. We only did during COVID, but nobody wears masks in our country. So just think if you didn't wear a mask when you're riding your bike, what kind of garbage is coming and going into your lungs? When you're breathing in, all the fumes. I mean, when you're stuck in the light, or you're going through that huge roundabout, right? Vehicles and stuff. I mean, the air is so like, all right, right here. Just think what that's doing to your body. You know, that's what, you know, if you blow your nose and you get black, that's pollution, right? You don't want that going into your lungs. I don't want that going into my lungs, right? Anyway. So that's good, no? Okay, so we have solar, and we have wind, and we have water, right? And water. What else? What else are we going to do? What else can we do to help mitigate pollution in this country? Okay, mitigate is a word for how can we reduce. You know what this country does a lot of too? Is clothes. Oh my God, I've never seen so many clothes. I know people who go shopping every week and buy new clothes every week. How many shirts do you need? Seriously, how many shirts do you need? No, seriously, how many shirts do you need? 3, okay. How many do you need?
Just like in 3.
How many do you need?
More.
How many more? 20? 30? 40?
Oh my God.
More! It's called minimalism. Has anyone heard of that? Minimalism? Has anyone ever heard of that term, minimalism? We have, they try minimal, is you try and live minimalist, as with as little stuff as possible. So, you don't have. I've lived now 10 months in Vietnam with 4 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of jeans. Well, because I have to wear this uniform, I don't have to wear a lot of tops, right? So on my days off, and then I'm like, you know, whatever. I have six tops, 3 bras, 2 bathing suits. I mean, hardly any. That's it. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy many clothes. I have to buy hats because I keep losing them, or they blow off, right? But that kind of stuff. I mean, you don't. That's wasteful. To me, that's wasteful, right? We have a saying, and anyway, what they have is they have minimalist months, which is there's a competition where you don't agree to buy nothing 1 month. I'm not talking food. I'm talking or personal sundries like shampoo, soap, something. I'm talking no clothes, no toys, no shoes, nothing for 1 month. Don't buy anything.